What's up, guys? Nick and Jackson here, and we're going to be talking about The Last of Us. Alright,
Start on.
to start off, hands down, I loved this game. Throughout the whole time, I was amazed by the cutscenes for sure. Like the one where, God, I forgot that black guy's name.
Henry.
Yeah, Henry and Sam, there we go. I remember Sam, but just not the guy.
That was
But,
a really good scene.
yeah, like Tyler,
Before we say anything, we should probably say this is gonna be spoiler heavy.
Yeah, spoiler heavy.
So if you don't want to be spoiled by the game, don't listen.
And, so, in that cutscene of Henry and Sam, Tyler never ever got to see the game, but when Henry killed himself after having to kill Sam, Tyler was in awe. He didn't know anything about the game. He saw that cutscene and he was already amazed by it completely.
And you kind of grew with those characters. Like you thought throughout that whole entire thing, you thought they were gonna actually survive, and that they were gonna be like helping out Joel and Ellie.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, hell, I knew that they would be good because at that one point when Joel was locked with Sam and Ellie was with Henry, like, and you actually had to care for Sam. That was kind of like a growing moment in saying, yeah, you know they probably are gonna live.
Yeah, but oh my god, when I noticed he was bit, or when he was talking about the zombie stuff, I was like, why would he be talking about that? Is he bit? Why is he worried about it if he... And then he shows the bite and I'm just... Holy shit. But
I'm like, oh fuck.
even
Ah,
though he
no.
ditched you, but at least he saved your life.
Yeah, and just you got to think about it. Like, I can understand why Tyler was in awe because of that too.
Yeah,
Because, well, I can't really say much right now.
but I
But
mean, just the whole game, you feel so much emotion into the game. It's just amazing.
I'm gonna say what my favorite part of the whole entire game was, though, and that was that point when you were Ellie and Joel was hurt.
Oh yeah, Joel fell on that. Oh, that was a pretty sickening thing to see when she lifted up the blanket in his shirt.
Oh my god, that you got to think about that because that kind of reminds me of what happened to Eva in the Metal Gear Solid
Oh
series.
yeah,
He gotten like hit in the exact same point where Eva was hit.
hers was a piece of tree though. It wasn't like
This was like a piece of like something that has to do
like
with
a
concrete.
metal rod type of.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
gone completely through. Now that's gotta suck. But I have to say that fight with David was fucking. I actually got scared at that point. That was fucking scary.
I know. I was like, oh my god, he pulled out his machete and now he's running all over the place. What the shit? I was
Like
scared.
the first point, he was like, "Yeah, this is pretty easy." Second point, I was like, thinking, "Oh, this is getting a little bit harder." Then he got out his machete and he was going fucking batshit insane. I was like, "Oh fuck!"
The part that almost brought me to tears was the very beginning.
Oh fuck yeah!
That's how you know that the game's going to be great from the very beginning. A
Yeah,
very emotional beginning.
they pull you in because of that prologue
Yeah.
of just you knew that's why Joel was gonna be this hard ass, like angry motherfucker. That was, and I mean it also helps because you were playing as Sarah from the very beginning.
Yeah. I don't know, just seeing that, it really made me pissed, and I was like, okay, if I see a military guy anywhere, I'm gonna kick their ass. That was terrible, but I think the part that makes me really sad is if you guys didn't notice, there's a bonus section when you press pause in the game, and after you beat the game on a certain difficulty, you unlock certain items, skins,
Yeah.
to wear in the game. Sarah was wearing a purple plaid pants, and if you beat the game on the hardest difficulty on The Last of Us, you get a purple plaid shirt, and I thought that was kind of sad.
Yeah. You know what else I noticed throughout the whole entire game?
What?
I saw big references to Jack and Daxter.
Oh yeah, they have a Jack and Daxter shirt that Ellie can wear.
Yeah, I bought that and I put that on Ellie, but there was something else. You remember that toy store when you're with Henry and Sam?
Yep.
I looked. There's a board game for Uncharted in there, and there's a board game for Jack and Daxter in that store as well.
Wow.
They I have a feeling there's going to be another Jack and Daxter, but I don't know.
That would be
I don't know if it would be good because I mean, the three before were very good, but I don't know about the fourth one if they were going to make it. I don't know.
oh yeah, Uncharted. I should probably do a playthrough of that soon.
Yeah, probably.
That would be nice. You guys can leave a comment to if you guys want me to make an Uncharted playthrough.
Uh, I'm gonna say like there's one really good aspect of The Last of Us that I enjoyed the most, and that was how innovative it is to you. How every fight sequence, like when you're like keep holding that, like you keep pressing the square button to do a melee, that works out pretty well. Uh, and like if you're like say if you're hiding under cover, which if you notice this is what Naughty Dog loves to do with their games. Like if you played Uncharted and you are in cover, if somebody's shooting at you, you see Nathan Drake just like flinching every once in a while because he doesn't want to get shot. Like Joel and Ellie or Tess even if they're going to be like hiding behind cover and somebody's shooting at them, you can actually see them flinch every once in a while.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense, because, I mean, if someone's shooting at you, even if you're behind cover and someone's still shooting at you, it's gonna freak you out a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like with games recently. I've seen third-person shooters where somebody hides behind cover and you see like a gunshot like shoot right past them. They don't flinch whatsoever, and that's really innovative.
Yeah.
Um, Another thing was that the game doesn't really have a HUD system. Like the most HUD that you'll probably get is pressing the select button and pulling out your backpack and opening up that little craft menu and supplements menu to where you also have the like your gun menu and everything along of the sort.
Yeah.
And it's also like if you're like trying to walk up in your like and you want to get a ladder or something, it goes to that item and it says press triangle to pick up item. And that's really cool.
One thing I like is how it's not like, everything isn't quite given to you. You actually, like,
Yeah.
oh, you want a shiv? Well, if you find some duct tape and some scissors, you're gonna make a shiv.
But it's also like throughout the game you can actually pick up items. Like I remember you remember that in that substation when you're with Tess and Ellie and there's like clickers all around and everything?
Yeah.
I remember looking off to the side and there's a free shiv for you.
Oh yeah, and the lockers.
Yeah. So every once in a while there's like a free item to you, but I never seen uh any free Petra bomb or anything.
But one thing I like too is how some supplies actually take up other supplies. So it's like, what would you rather have, a health kick, or not health kick, what the hell, but health kit, or a Molotov?
Yeah.
What do you need most?
Would you rather have a shiv or an upgraded machete?
Or would you rather have a one of those bombs with the nails all over them?
Or yeah, and I think like the most worst bomb in my opinion. I think this is only a multiplayer item, and that is the smoke bomb. I never really used it that
Oh no,
much.
smoke bombs in single player.
Oh, they
Yeah.
are. Well, I guess I just don't remember using them at all because I never made them.
Multiplayer, it helps if you're if I'm like, sometimes when I'm surrounded in multiplayer and I don't know what to do, I just pop a smoke bomb and then they just kind of cover themselves and you can shiv them up front.
I've actually never used the shiv in multiplayer at all.
I used it like, I think the most 10 times out of the 30
Like
matches I played.
whatever I've done, I've always used like the bow and arrow and silence pistol, like I've said, and like what I mostly do is that I set like a bomb, like I press the R1 button with a bomb equipped, and it just drops it. And whoever walks by will get hit. And I just leave it there, and I run away.
Yeah, that's what I do too with those bombs. Except
Those bombs come
I
in
tend
handy.
to put it next to where people pick up supplies, so they just see that there's no one around and they just want to rush over there to grab some stuff, but they get blown up.
Yeah.
Then I just wait for them to bleed out, or I'll watch them bleed out, So it'll maybe lure out some other people. And then I just start nailing them with a revolver.
Yeah.
Very good tactic.
Should we explain the zombie types?
Oh, probably.
Yeah, there's like 3 zombie types, right?
Yeah, there's the normal runners, which they don't really have any special trait to them, but all the best thing that they can do is run at you and start attacking you. Clickers,
Yeah, they're practically like normal
yeah,
zombies is what the runners are.
and clickers are bitches. They they can't see, but they can hear
Those are
very well.
motherfuckers.
And if they get anywhere close to you, to arm length close, you get bit and you're dead. That's what they.
They can just slap you
Yeah,
up.
they grab you, they bite your neck, and then they rip out a bunch of flesh. And bloaters,
That's why the first thing you should get is the Shiv
yeah,
Master.
that helps like crazy.
It's like what the Shiv Master does is that if they grab you, you have the opportunity to pull out your Shiv and stab them. And like, I don't know if it kills them, but I just know it knocks them away.
Yeah. And then bloaters are really, really fat infected.
Those are fucking asshole kind of infected. They're like the
Yeah,
tanks.
they're like the tanks.
Left
They're
4
not
Dead.
that fat. They're not as fast as tanks, but they can take you out in one hit if they get to arm length, of course. But what they do is that they put one hand in your mouth and one hand on your head. Then they start pushing those. They start pushing in the other direction, so that your head will.
Yeah, they start like cracking open your mouth.
Then I don't want to see what happens after the screen goes black. After you see Joel's mouth split open, I don't want to see what happens
There,
after that.
there's like a point where I saw it, and you can actually like see the skin start to rip if you've actually seen it enough times, which I have. I've been fucked up by those fucking boomers enough, or bloaters enough, to see that happen, and that's just
It's fucking
horrible.
gross. It's
And those bloaters are assholes because they'll throw like fungus bombs at you, and you have to run away from
yeah.
that shit.
Sometimes I'll just sit there and mind my own business, and out of nowhere I'll just fucking see a bomb just smash into me when I'm trying to battle other clickers and shit. I'm just like, what the hell? Leave me alone.
There's like a little plot point that I didn't really make sense. Like, remember when I touched upon saying that Ellie was alone at some point?
I believe so.
Well, I was fighting that bloater, and he threw a fungus bomb at Ellie, and she's still getting hurt from the fungus attack. Isn't she like immune to it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because when you're into that area with the gas mask, she doesn't need one.
Like I'm at right now. Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe there's something in the bombs that hurt her. Still.
Maybe it's like an extra amount of spores that are within the fungus.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe just I don't know. Like maybe there's just something in it. Like she may be like bit and shit, but I don't think that it would help her to just. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I think if she got bit again, it would kind of worsen her infection, but then I was thinking, well, she's immune, so not sure if that would even be possible.
Yeah. So, I think we should touch upon who the main characters are and we also the people that we come across. Of course, we all know who Joel and Ellie are. Joel, whom, if you don't know, is voiced by Troy Baker, who voiced as I actually found this out recently. He voiced as Jake Muller from Resident Evil 6.
Really?
Yeah, I found that out, and I'm actually listening through all the voices, and he sounds like if you listen through Jake's voices in Resident Evil 6 to BioShock Infinite's voices of Booker DeWitt, they sound identical.
Very similar.
Yeah. And again, you can kind of hear that in Joel. Like you can kind of hear Booker DeWitt and Joel, but the problem is with that is that that I don't really hear it as much as you would in the other games.
His voice is a little switched up in The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I like it though.
But I think it's because he's more silent. Like he's more like toned down, in which whenever you hear him yell, you can kind of hear the Booker DeWitt in it. Ellie is a 14-year-old girl who has been bitten, or yeah, it was
Yeah,
bitten,
bitten.
right? Yeah, she was bitten, but whenever you get infected, you're supposed to be turning in about a day or two. But she's been infected for about 3 weeks. So people think that they're. I forgot what part of her was it that was like overgrown, so she was able to be immune to it. I forgot what part that was.
Me too.
Yeah, Tess, who I don't really know a lot about Tess
I
actually.
don't know, just
I think they were. I think that she and Joel were
yeah,
a
that's what I was
thing.
sort of thinking, cause
I want to
what's it
say,
called? I remember her saying to Joel, or I know Joel was saying something about being a romantic type, and what's it called? She said you
yeah,
have your, or I forgot. She said something, you have your ways or something like that.
they were outside from a fungus area, and it's like it's like, oh, I love the smell of outside. This is what I like, and he's like, well, I am the romantic
Oh
type.
yeah.
It's like you have ways.
She's like, it kind of feels like a date or something like that. She said.
Yeah, and also like later on when you're going through the skyscraper or whatever, she was saying like after all this is done, I just want to sit back and relax. And Joel was like saying, well, you always push me away. It's like I won't do it this time. So I think they were a thing, but they're kind of like off and on.
Yeah, it could be.
Probably had like their differences.
Then again, like the thing that made me feel
I,
like Tess was a bit of a hooker was when you're going through that one spot right before you run into the black guy that she shoots. When you're going through everyone, she seems to know them a lot, and she's like, just an old headache, don't worry about him, or don't worry about this guy. I was just kind of like, how do you... What the hell?
well, every girl has their
True, but I
baggage.
mean, even if they are, like, old friends and stuff, but I don't know, I just had the impression that she could have been a hooker, but I can always be wrong. There's no confirmation that she's a whore.
Yeah, she could have just like had boyfriend after boyfriend. It's just, but you really got to think about it. It's been 20 years. I don't know how long they've been together throughout this whole entire
Yeah,
thing.
really.
To go from San Antonio, Texas to Boston, that's got to be that they've got to be like together for I don't know, maybe I wouldn't really say like maybe 5 years. I don't really know. Could be.
Yeah.
Uh, Sam and Henry, those were really two
I
cool
was happy
characters
I
that I
finally
liked.
had a black survivor. I mean, I didn't really see many in the game that were friendly, so...
Yeah, and like there's one cool thing about it was that you remember before they got the reveal of what happened to Sam, how Joel and Henry were just sitting eating beans and like talking about like
Yeah.
motorcycles. That was really cool, and I like
Yeah,
that
I liked it
scene.
too.
That was like sort of like a moment in Zombieland. Do you remember when they were at Bill Murray's house or whatever in Zombieland?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was kind of like that
Then they
moment
accidentally shot him.
when they were all just
That was pretty good.
no.
Talking about Zombieland when they
Well,
shot Billy.
yeah, but I mean afterwards when they're all just sitting by something like talking to each other is what I'm talking about at that point.
I was in my own little world.
I think it, I think it was after they killed Bill Murray. Um, Bill. I gotta remember Bill.
He must have been like this old friend of Joel's, cause he owed some favors to Joel, but you never really knew. Hopefully they're gonna make some DLC to show what happened between Joel and Bill.
Hopefully, I would like to see some of that.
Or
Like, I mean, it's been like 20 years. They've obviously got to have some sort of DLC that shows you the sort of time span between
yeah,
those
and
points.
Tess and all of the people that she knows, maybe they might make something about how she knew all of them and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like they've done points in the game where you played as different characters other than Joel. So I mean, it's got to work. Like I said, my favorite point was the Ellie point, and that was like the winter segment is what I should say. And again, that's how the game is. It goes from like summer to spring, and it goes through all the seasons, and that's something that you don't really see in a lot of
Yeah, I
games.
don't see that in many games whatsoever. Naughty Dog really impressed me with this game.
Yeah. Tommy, and who's his wife's
Was it
name?
Maria?
I think it might have been Maria. It was something with an M. But Tommy was Joel's brother, and we actually got to see him in the very beginning of the apocalypse, like right before Sarah had died. Whom Sarah is Joel's sister.
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 That was
I mean daughter.
10 out of 10 way to describe Joel's daughter as his sister.
I'm sorry, sister. I knew her well. I'm trying to think of who. Oh yeah, David, the one of the bad guys.
That weird guy.
That was a creepy guy. And you know what else I found out? That I think he was gonna rape Ellie before she raped him with a machete.
I had a feeling that he was gonna do something like that, but I had a feeling he was gonna kill her first and then do it. But either way, I thought that was just really gross.
I had a feeling about that because they said that Ellie was his new pet to Joel. That was also a really cool point with Joel when he just went fucking ape shit badass and stabbed the dude in the knee, and he's like, mark the point on this map.
Yeah, that's what really brought out Joel's menacing side.
That was fucking. I don't want to fuck with Joel ever again.
Joel, I made jokes about you a little bit in the campaign just for laughs for myself, but now I never ever want to make fun of you ever again.
Now I see what you're capable of.
I see what you're capable of.
Not saying you were a pussy before, but you're deadly as shit. Yeah. I'm scared of you.
When you fuck with Joel, Joel fucks with you harder. I don't think he just fucks with you.
I found out that David straight up rapes you.
A better thing to say. He just hardcore destroys you.
Yeah. And I found out that David was voiced by Nolan North, who did the voice of Rick Toppin from Zombies, and he also did the voice of Nathan Drake.
I was about to say, there's got to be Nathan Drake's
voice
in this game. They just can't let him go like that out of a game.
I've also heard Steve Blum, or Steve Bloom as people like to call him, whom Steve Bloom was some of the military characters, and is actually one of the multiplayer characters. Yeah, and then wasn't Marlene that was the character from the Fireflies? Yep. The black chick from the Fireflies? Yeah. And I think that's like the last person that we can talk about.
I don't really know anyone else.
She is a bitch. I'd like to say that, but I don't know.
She dies at the end. That makes you happy.
Yeah, and that ending was. We're gonna talk about the ending after we're done talking about this. The character of Marlene she's the leader of the Fireflies. She had created the Fireflies.
Queen of the Fireflies.
Yes, she's Queen of the Fireflies. But your whole entire mission is just so you can get Ellie to this zone. Yeah, so that they can find the cure.
Is scraping all the fungal stuff out of her brain, but Ellie would die in the process.
Scraping some over-mutated part of the brain, and that's basically her role at the very beginning and the end. At the end, you had cared, Joel has really cared about Ellie
as if she is his daughter.
As if she was Sarah. And he's like, I want to see Ellie. And she's like, no, you can't. She's getting prepped for surgery. And yeah, and that was sort of like an angry point with me where she was supposed to keep the promise of letting Ellie live, because of Ellie's mother had been dead or something, and she was looking over Ellie, and finally she says, "You know what? Fuck it. She's gonna be dead. She's gonna save the world.
Yeah, but I mean, some
Fuck it."
people just have the thoughts of what's the choice we have here? A cure for all this zombie stuff, so no one else we love gets infected, or let a little girl live. But I'm sure even though Ellie is a cure for them, I'm pretty sure that there's others out there that could have the cure too.
There has to be, because it can't just be like one person on the whole entire planet that has been immune to it all. There has to be
Not
somebody
100%
else.
of the time, but usually there is. But I would hope so.
Yeah. So let's get into the ending
All right.
of the game. Uh, it starts like I would guess the I think we should talk about the level beforehand and then we go into it. Uh, the level was you're in like that hospital that's at the end where you're finally at the end of the journey, but Joel just can't have it anymore. He can't like live with her dying
Yeah,
to
well,
save the
just
world. I
not
believe.
really save the world, because of course there's going to be hunters and stuff still. I mean, even though there's no zombies, but there'd still be hunters fighting to survive. But
Yeah,
uh, he can't really just handle Ellie dying for all this for the zombie cure. He doesn't want that because he loves her like as if she is his own daughter. And there's a
yeah.
military after Marlene tells the military guy to escort him out. Joel starts slowly walking out. Then Joel just completely screws up the military guy, picks him up, then asks him where they're keeping Ellie. He doesn't really answer, so then he just
That was he shot him like he shot him in like the gut like 3 times, and
well,
he's
no,
like,
he
"Where
asked,
is
and then he's like,
she?"
I don't have time for this, and then he shot him. Where is she? Boom, shoots him again, asks him again, and then just keeps popping him until the third time, and then the military guy is on the ground just bleeding like
Yeah,
crazy, just shoots him in the face.
that that was like a really badass point for Joel. I mean, I thought it was gonna be some sort of scenario where he saw where his bag was and then he'd be locked away, and then you have to somehow bust out of the area
I
and
was
get your
thinking he
pack
would
back.
quickly grab his bag and smack the military guy with it, and then just smack him with it like it was his purse or something. Leave me alone!
You snakes here! I need to save my daughter. Wait, she's
But,
not my daughter. Fuck.
yeah, past all that nonsense. He grabbed his bag afterwards, and then you just have this giant battle with like 20 military guys.
That was
Oh
sort of
my
a
god, what a
difficult part.
bitch.
Like when I was doing it, I always like I always try to get like this one guy come around the side, like the guy that comes out first. I used to like grab him and take him as a hostage and like fire away and then kill him at the end. But there was this one time I threw a Molotov at him and I just started running up and I kept throwing Molotovs at everyone, just go
My
like, "Fuck
tactic
you all, I'm out of here."
was throw bombs where needed. Don't waste it on like only 2 people. Throw a Molotov if it's only 2 people. And if you know you can take him down, take him down. And definitely kill the guy with the assault rifle first, because he's gonna be a bitch. And if you kill him,
Yeah,
if you stealthily kill him, you can take his assault rifle and get the drop on the enemy.
yeah, that assault rifle comes in handy. There was this one time, I want to say this as a little point that I did in the snow area. I had the flamethrower, and so I have like full ammo. I go running by, I'm like, "You cold? Heat up with some flamethrower!" And I burned him. I ran away. I was like, "Oh, you fucker!" I just saw him burn. I was like, "Ha, that worked out perfectly."
Okay, then
I've got just as planned.
after
And
all
I
the
ran away.
shooting, you finally get into Ellie's operation room, and then the guy's in there, and he's like, "Holy shit!" He sort of freaks out when he sees Joel, cause you know. And he pulled out a
And he
scalpel, and he's
pulled
like,
up a scalpel
don't
and
come any
just tries
closer."
to.
So you just simply shoot him, and everyone screams and says that you're a monster, and Joel doesn't give 2 shits.
So you
Yeah.
shot him too? Did you know
Ow.
there's another way you can do that? You press triangle on him and you take a scalpel and stab him in the throat.
That is...
I found that out too. I sat there, I was like, I didn't know what I was doing, so I was just walking around the area and I was like, do I have to go back? I was like, wait, I actually have to shoot this guy? Hold up the revolver and I shot him? I was like,
If you
well, that
didn't
was
know,
easy.
also, one way you can sneak
And I
up
didn't.
and kill a clicker is with a brick. If you sneak up and you start
Oh
pressing
yeah.
square
I
like
found
crazy, Joel just beats the shit out of the clicker with the brick.
I just learned out, like, after beating the game once, I just learned how to use my throwable weapons as items I can use to attack people. Like, I found this out. You remember that GIF that you've seen where it, like, if you hit somebody with a bottle, they're on the ground, you can pull out your shotgun and
I believe
blast them.
so.
I've seen so much GIFs of them saying that that person they shotgun was
Oh
Microsoft
yeah,
and that Sony was
that's 'cause
Joel.
freaking Sony whipped Microsoft. But I'm really glad that Microsoft is switching
Yeah,
up that they're not going to be doing all that crap.
yeah, and the DRM of the Xbox One has actually been taken away. Do
Have
you know
not
what the
heard of that
DRM
before.
is? It's the it's what is the system for you to pay for
Oh yeah, no, never mind. I know. I
used
don't know why I
games.
forgot that.
They lifted that ideal from the Xbox One. So anyway, back to the ending.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of getting off topic. When he picks up Ellie, I found this out. I think that he's now become sort of a father figure now because you hear him say, "Come on, baby girl, let's go," like how he said to
Yeah.
Sarah before she died. And I really did like the sequence afterwards where you're running with her in your hands, and there's just military guys coming up out of nowhere, like aiming
I
down
was scared. I
flashlights,
was
and
like,
you're
they're
just
gonna
running
fucking
away.
shoot me any second. I'm terrified.
So you run your way to an elevator, which you go down and you make it so that the elevator can't go anywhere, and that's where Marlene is. She's in the parking lot.
And
She
then
knows
she
where you were
just
going to
waits for
be.
you and
She says like you can do this. You can stop now. You can let her stay.
you
You
can
can
redeem
like
yourself type of
this is
thing.
what she would want. Yeah, and then it just cuts to him
You
driving.
know that he sure as hell didn't let
And
her stay. Well, I don't know. I was confused if he let her stay or not.
yeah, it's sort of like saying, oh, he actually, because he kind of had like a stern look on his face, making it like thinking that he had let Ellie die for the
Yeah,
cure.
that's what I was thinking.
Is what it seemed like. And so you just see you see that, and then you hear something in the background, and you're like, is that Ellie or who's that behind? You see it's Ellie, and you're like, oh, okay. And it tells you what he actually did. He shot Marlene, put Ellie in the back of the car, and as Marlene's just sitting right there, she's saying, "Please, don't execute me. Let me live." Then
Yeah,
that's when he says,
you'll only
"You'll
come
only
back
come
to
back
get
to
her.
get her,"
It's
and
true,
shoots
because
her in the head.
you let her live, she's most likely going to be trying to find Ellie. Just like with what's his name?
Yeah,
David. How Ellie let him live and he just came after her later. So I think that was a good
yeah,
idea on Joel's part.
yeah. And it like that's where you kind of thought that that's where the end was going to be. Like you thought it was just going to end right there, but no. It goes on to a little bit to where it shows Joel and Ellie
I think it
reaching
was back
sort
where
of like a
Tommy
safe
was.
haven. I thought it was back where the winter place was, where you had to fight David. I thought that's where they were
I'm not sure
there.
if it
I
was
thought
near
that's where they
Tommy
went.
or over there actually. I think it was near Tommy's personally, but
I don't know. I've only seen the ending once myself, so I kind of think it was at the snow area. So you're just like going through this area, and you're like, how long is this game gonna drag on even more? I thought that was gonna be the ending. Well, you go up and they're kind of like talking and everything. So you get to this ridge and Ellie just straight up says it and says, and it's like tells her story about like how she got bitten and everything. And then she's saying, "You have to promise me that everything back at the Fireflies HQ is not a lie." And he just straight up and said, "It's
What he
not a
said
lie."
was that there are more people like Ellie, and that they didn't need her, and they stopped looking for a cure.
Yeah, and like what I also thought was that I thought it was pretty touching. Like before they got up to that ridge, Joel was saying that
Yeah.
Sarah and her would have been best friends. And in truth, I would have really thought that would have been that would have happened.
Yeah,
That
that
would
would
have
have been
been
cool, but
really
unfortunately
cool.
some people just had to be assholes at the beginning of the game.
Some fucking military people just
I
have to
mean,
be
I
dicks
guess
every
I can
once in a
sort of
while.
understand their position of, well, we don't want the risk of the infection spreading, but, either way, I guess it didn't matter, because it spread anyways.
Yeah. So I think that's all we have to talk about right
That's
now.
all I really have to say about the game, so, if you guys like the review, that would be
I
pretty awesome. Yeah,
I
honestly, I
think
think
this
this game
game
is a
is
million
10
out of
out
10.
of 10.
There should be no limit to what this game should be rated, because it is just that good. It
It's
is.
such an emotional drive. Like you have a feeling for the character, and you actually feel like you're going to end up crying every once in a while because of how
Yeah,
how good the story is written and how good it looks,
this
how
game
good
was...
everything is.
I just loved I
There,
just loved every second of the game.
one of my favorites, and I'm glad that that's how it
Alright,
is.
so
It's amazing.
I'm pretty sure that's all we have to say. So you guys leave a
Yeah.
comment about what you guys feel about the game. You guys can like if you want us to make some more reviews. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.